Gaming has really evolved over the past couple of years. And one thing that's really improved is world building. A lot of my favourite games have great world building that makes you truly believe that the people you interact with, fight with, are real people, at least in a story sense. However, there are limitations to this. No matter how open a game's world may be, interactions with other people or even your own allies is fairly linear. Most of the character's development is done through pre-rendered cutscenes or forced events. Do this thing and character reacts this way. But during actual gameplay, a lot of the time, your actions don't affect your party members. Help an old lady or blow up her house, it makes no difference to your party members. Maybe you'll get a line of disapproval thrown in there, but there's no impact on the greater story. However, it wasn't something I really thought about. That was until I played Disco Elysium. If you've never played Disco Elysium, here's a quick synopsis. You are a cop. That's really all you know about your character. You've basically lost all your memory after a massive fucking rager, and you have to piece together as much info about your life as you can, while also trying to solve a murder in a town named Martinez that's on the brink of civil war. You might think this sounds like an extremely aimless task, wandering around not knowing anything about the world you inhabit. And it would be until you meet your knight in shining armour. And, in my opinion, the best character in all of gaming.
I'm Kim Kitsuragi, Lieutenant, Precinct 57.
From the moment you meet him, you're told that you can instinctively trust him.
If an assault were launched on this building right now, if the windows came crashing down and the whole world descended upon you, this man would hurl himself in death's way to save you. You are sure of this.
Even his character portrait portrays him as a saint. The developers of Disco Elysium have stated that the character portraits are how your character views each person. And Kim's portrait is one of the more grounded portrayals seen in the game. However, he also has what seems to be a glowing halo in the background of his character profile. Obviously, he doesn't really have a halo in-game, but it shows you from the start that you should put all your trust into this one person. On the topic of his appearance, you might have some preconceived notions on how he might act. He's a thin guy with massive neat glasses. You might expect him to be some massive loser, but no. He stands tall, hands behind his back, and works in a completely professional way. And this is one of the big things that I love about Kim. He isn't your own personal yes man like other video game characters. He's his own person who likes to do things by the book. For all intents and purposes, he's your tutorial, but he's not just going to spout out shit like, detective, you should click on an object to interact with it. No, you want to masterfully navigate through conversations to get as much info out of him as you can, while trying to seem inconspicuous about the fact that you've completely lost your memory. Because if you're acting strange, Kim will let you know it. He's not there to compliment your every decision. Some ideas he will provide alternatives. Some he'll let you know he thinks it's a bad idea, and sometimes he'll just flat out force you not to do some things.
Are you fucking insane? Don't answer that, and stop doing it.
However, you soon learn that Kim isn't always right in his judgments, and that you might get more info by doing things he may think is a bad idea or isn't relevant to the investigation. I love this about his character because that's what real life is like. You are going to have disagreements with friends and co-workers, Having someone that challenges you on your ideas is what can make you understand that an idea is flawed, or it could make you believe in it by convincing others to believe in it. And technically, you can just let Kim make all your decisions for you and try not to butt heads with him, but the game actively calls you out on it by calling you a centrist. Another thing that makes Kim such a strong character is his personality. All the people you meet in Disco Elysium have a lot to say. It adds loads of depth to each individual character, no matter how minor. However, what they have to say is kind of restricted to the topics close to them, the area they live in, characters they know, etc. This isn't a bad thing. It's necessary for each character to have their purpose while not filling the game with completely unnecessary dialogue. However, Kim is alongside you for basically your whole journey, present in all these conversations. He has opinions about a lot of the things you discuss that only come up during conversations about said topics. Early on, the game gives you the option to just ask Kim about himself, but he only gives you a basic overview, as would be expected. You're not going to go up to somebody in real life and say, "Hey, how are you?" and they respond, "I have an agenda to destroy the working class." No, in real life, these opinions arise when presented with said situation. And his openness towards you increases as the days progress. Side note, from now on, there are minor spoilers for Disco Elysium. If you have not played it, please stop here and play the game. And if you are going to play the game, please do not buy it direct from the developers, buy it from a third source or pirate it. The reason why is very complicated and it could be its own fucking video, but to water it down, the original developers of the game do not get any money from the purchases, as it was basically stolen by the company Zaum, which got over fucking ridden by investors. If you want to look into it, I'll leave sources below, but it's honestly its own video by itself. As I've said, when you first meet him, he's the straight-laced cop doing things by the book. But as you spend more time with him, he naturally starts opening up to you. It starts off by little things like an awkward high five or cracking a joke, to letting you know his opinions on stuff like religion and politics. He also lets you in on some of the more personal experiences he's had with stuff like racism. He fights to be seen as a Revacholian, as many people profile him due to his appearance. By the end of the game, he's quite aware of your character's antics and has accepted them. He can even end up breakdancing alongside you and a load of teenagers. It's such a natural progression that it feels realistic. A lot of games would just have a, you're alright kid, and then the characters are at your service, but no, not here. No singular event builds trust in Kim. It's all the little things you do over the course of working with him, basically 24/7 for a week. And building trust with Kim does impact the story. In Disco Elysium, there are certain decisions you can make called checks that you have a certain chance of succeeding with. Basically, if you succeed a check, you get the outcome shown to you. If you fail, fucking God knows what happens.
If not hundreds of little oddly shaped trinkets.
There are certain things you can do to increase your odd in these checks, wearing certain clothes, using certain items and whatnot. If you need to convince Kim to do something and you've built up enough trust, you'll get the modifier, the lieutenant trusts you. This is nice when you first encounter it, but nearing the end of the game, you have to make a pivotal decision that involves Kim. And when you are presented with that decision, you are shown the modifier, Kim truly trusts you. This is such a tiny piece of text, but it's one of the community's favourite lines in the whole game. It shows how you've built your relationship from being strictly business to actually being friends. There is so much about Kim that makes him a lovable character that I really don't feel I could do it justice in a video, although I'm trying my hardest. It's like trying to describe what you like about an actual human. For that, I really have to give it to the Disco Elysium writers. Massive props for creating a character that is so realistic. Someone that you gradually build trust with. A realistic depiction of a straight-edge cop who, if provoked, will drop his professionalism, for better or for worse. Because even the most professional people do lower their professionalism from time to time, because a person who's professional all the time is not a person. There's also just simple things like his voice acting. He has an incredibly soothing, relaxed voice, and he can genuinely be one of the funniest characters I've seen in a game due to some of his deadpan deliveries.
I do always appreciate a good use of the expression milkers.
He seems to care about most of the characters he comes across and wants the best for them. He has some secrets that he likes to hide from your character, such as the fact he's secretly a boy racer who listens to Revishal's version of drill. Me too, Kim.
Freaky driving!
How many tugs did I have this year, and how many times did my bed get sticky?
As I've said, I could sit here for hours talking about why I love Kim, but if you've never played Disco Elysium, there's only one way to truly appreciate the character, and that's by playing this masterpiece that's become probably one of my favourite games of all time.